Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 3rd of May, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at currencies, then some stock markets, commodities, and last of all, some US tech stocks. And we look at US tech stocks because they are driving the US market at the moment predominantly, and that, of course, is driving other markets. So it's why we just focus on those bellwethers for any signs of strength or weakness in the market. So we start with the dollar. It's really in this sideways range that's showing up in the short-term point and figure chart. We really are just stuck in this little range at the moment between 98 and 99.50 really, and the dollar index is just waiting for a break. Medium term, we are below the cloud. Long term, we're above the cloud. So the picture is mixed. And as I've mentioned, last year around this point was the low point for the dollar when we were below the cloud then as well. So it would be interesting to see whether we see the same at this time of year. Quite strong resistance though. So in the short term, a lot to do. If we look at the euro is again bearish below the cloud in the long term. Medium term looking stronger. Short term, we're stuck in this range as well. We do have an upside target of 111, but that's not activated yet. And we have this 116 upside on the medium term chart, but still more downside targets. So we shouldn't be surprised at some point to see a sell off in the euro longer term if with that long term picture. And we see the yen is the dollar has strengthened against the yen, just weakening at the moment. Short term though, we have had a recovery in the dollar at 112 to the yen. Looking at sterling, it's just falling away a little bit at the moment, but still just holding the cloud on the short term. We've got a new upside target here of 132. That matches a target given back in January of 132. So at the moment, that one's not activated yet, so we just wait and see if we make new highs. But it does have this pattern such that we've had the high, then the lower highs. So this 129.50 level is looking quite critical in the short term. Looking at euro sterling, fairly flat here. Both currencies fairly aligned over the last few days. And against the Swiss franc, just deteriorating slightly. And against the Australian dollar has really weakened against sterling here from 160 to 172. So we're seeing that as well. The S&P 500 is bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, which is still not breaking this 2400 level, but we're very close to it at 2391, so 9 points away. Looking at the Nasdaq, the Nasdaq 100 is continuing to run, so this is the most bullish looking index of them all. The Dow is bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, but again just struggling to break that 2100 level again. And the Russell 2000 again just struggling to break out, although we've had a good run in April. The futures are down very slightly this morning. S&P down 20.2 and the Nasdaq down 19 points, so 0.3% down on the E-mini. So that is just suggesting the market might open a little bit lower. FTSE 100 is down this morning, just struggling to really get to new highs above that 7,400 level. And the FTSE 250 just having a little bit of a sell-off, having had a very good run over the last few weeks. The DAX looking bullish. And the Nikkei also bullish above the clouds, got back above in the medium term, but still need to break this 20,000 level on the Nikkei is the next mountain to climb. The Hang Seng is bullish above the cloud on all three time frames, and the Shanghai composite is just looking a little bit bearish, a little bit worrying at the moment. So we do have these quite significant downside targets here. So China is still a little bit of a worry in the long term. The Indian market is strong above the cloud. The Australian market has sold off a bit over the last few hours, but still looking pretty bullish. Brent crude falling away. We're at $50.76, so we're coming back to. Yesterday we were testing this. Last night we were testing 50.25. So key thing is this $50 level looking vulnerable. We've got downside targets. WTI also downside targets here, so looking more and more bearish, looking like this low is going to be taken out, and we are heading into the weaker time of year, so it looks like crude oil is going to fall away. Nat gas back below the 320 level at 318 puts us in a bearish frame of mind short term, targets to 303 and 306, so that's suggesting a fall away there. Copper, we're seeing it jumped on Monday, but is really just struggling to hold that, falling back again. So most softs looking a little bit bearish. We've got sugar here just falling away again. Wheat had a very good run over the last few days, but is struggling to hold that. And if we look at gold, we see here that gold is really teetering along the floor here. Yesterday we tested 1252. We've got a new downside target to 1232. Our 1371 target, 9% away, is still intact. So we're just hitting quite strong resistance here. We're bullish long and medium term, but short term, just a little bit bearish. If we look at the pattern last year, we did have through this period of April, May, a little bit of uncertainty, and then we ran higher. But we are this year just testing cloud resistance on the price. So it will be interesting to see. If we look at silver, similar picture here, just turning a little bit bearish in the medium term on silver, so that's not looking great. US government bonds, 2.3%, so we're just sitting there at the moment, not really holding a bullish position, and bearish in the medium term. That's on the yields. Apple still looking bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. Google also looking very bullish above the time frames, and so is Amazon. And Facebook as well, making new highs, and Microsoft. So all the tech looking pretty strong indeed. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.